Chapter 5 is about business models. This is an important step in strategic planning because you can use this business model for a lot of things, and it's almost imperative for a startup business. Business models are basically a representation of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. Why do we need them? We have a business plan. Well, they give you a quick representation of the viability of a business idea. They can give you a real quick critical assessment of a current situation. They're awesome in crisis situations where the economy has just fallen out, or all of a sudden you've got 10 times as many customers as you thought you would. For things like loss of market share, how do we deal with this? What happens if we have a lot more competitors, or competitors make a strategic move? What can we do? When there are changes in the environment, new regulations are passed, or socio-cultural issues change, to see if there's a way to gain a competitive advantage that maybe we don't have now. It's a good way to start the process of business process reengineering, which deals with revamping the entire business, and to look at some blue ocean strategies and see if they're actually exploitable. There are 9 basic building blocks. The first is the value proposition, which is what we're going to do to get the customers to want to use our service or our product. The customer segments we're going to try to target. Our revenue streams. How are we going to get the money? The channels. How are we going to distribute the product or the service? How is the customer going to get it? Customer relationships. How do we want the customers to interact with us? Our interaction with the customer. What key resources do we need? What key activities do we need? And what key partnerships do we need to be able to create in order to make this successful? And finally, the cost structure. Business models cannot replace a business plan. They are not detailed enough. However, they're a good graphical representation of the business plan. They're great for creating or beginning the update of a business plan. And they're really good for exploring interim changes. The business plan isn't set in stone, and you don't want to have to write a business plan every 6 or 8 months if you're in a volatile industry. So you write your business plan for 3 to 5 years, and then as you monitor and adjust your goals and so on, you might have to make changes. And this is a good way of looking at possible changes. Also, they're very easy to use by novices and experienced entrepreneurs and managers, which business plans are not necessarily. So why graphic? It's a vision of an idea. It's a great way to compare and contrast different approaches. You can look at them visually. A lot of people can see that much easier. They're very easy to use, especially the business canvas that we're going to be using. It's easy to change and have them evolve. Either the computer generated one or the one that is on the wall. Both are very easy to change. Some popular formats: the business model canvas. This is the one that we're going to be using. You can see the key activities, the value proposition. You can see the channels, the key resources, the cost structure, revenue. So we can look at all of those. Other popular formats are the lean canvas, which is based on the business model canvas. It was originally created for small startups with very little money. Maps are, as you can see, a little bit complicated when you try to write things down. The pyramid is pretty cool, except it never actually deals with where you're going to get the money or what the value proposition is. It just assumes that you already know them. The Stan She Smile curve is based kind of heavily on the value chain. Toolshare has the same building blocks as the Canvas does, but it just is not in a format that's very easy to understand and make changes to. Now, this is the end of chapter 5. However, I have posted a supplemental video, which is actually a whole series of them, but they're very short, that takes you through from idea creation to the presentation of the business model. It takes you step by step, kind of how they go through it. And it's kind of a fun video and pretty easy to understand. Additionally, I'm giving you a link to the business model software. There's free business model software that you can use.